Welcome to Sarasota, Florida for the club championships 2011 USA Ultimate. And we're Skide Magazine. I'm Elliot Trotter with Skide Magazine, wearing some sick Breakmark gear right next to the Breakmark booth out here in Florida. Yeah, people have been shaking their heads at me, so I don't know what's going on. But now that I'm getting the thumbs up. Anyway, we are here to talk mixed division, and we've got our mixed reporter, Maya Ziv, here to do just that. So Maya, I understand you started by watching the bucket game this round. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean...
You're a bucket fan.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think they were underseeded going in, definitely. And this was, like, I think from the beginning this was their game to win if they were going to win one. And they started off just awesome. I mean, they took it to CLX. I don't think CLX was up until the very end. And so they actually took half 8-3 bucket over CLX. I mean... Chad Larson was just throwing turnovers, not playing their game, you know, and Bucket was putting the pressure on. And then during halftime, you saw the really tense halftime talk. Bob Blue basically sat down and was like, guys, we need more fire, we need more fight, let's do this.
More fire.
Exactly. Okay. And Bucket, you know, you saw them like having fun. They were having a good time, right? They're like partying. I mean, they're throwing, but definitely more relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, second half comes out and CLX has just picked up the game right away. They score 2 right off the bat, I think. Bucket maybe answers with 1, but by the end they tied up at 12s, which was just absolutely nuts. And all of a sudden Bucket's looking kind of nervous, looking kind of scared. There were lots of calls all over the board from both teams. I mean, there were really, really long points. And, you know, it was 12s, 13s, 14-14, and game to 15. So CLX actually won off a big huck, 15-14. So that was pretty cool.
You were expecting this type of matchup between these two teams?
I honestly didn't expect it to be so close. I thought CLX would win, but maybe by like a 3-point difference. I did not expect Bucket to go up so early, and so that was really unexpected. And you know, they had that attitude of like, oh, we've got this in the bag. Obviously, you never know, but you could tell, especially at halftime, that really showed that.
So who was making plays for either team?
For Bucket, you had Colin. I'm blanking on his last name, but he's their captain. He was a really big thrower, great on D. Jay Hammond had a few sweet hammers and throws. He used to play for Chain, I believe, right? Rob White as well. I mean, these guys were just awesome. Emily Mitchell had a few run-through Ds. I think she had 2 and 1 point, which was just crazy. So they definitely showed their athleticism, and they showed that they just have really dominant individuals. But I think the people who are going to win the mixed game are the teams that work really well together. So for CLX, you had Bob Liu putting up throws everywhere. I mean, you had Kevin Sealer, who's the captain, with really solid throws. Megan Liu, who is actually Bob's sister. The two of them worked really well together, had some good handler movement. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, you know, CLX didn't have as many individual crazy plays because they work well together. You know, it was the difference between knowing where your person was so you didn't have to make huge layouts. But yeah, so I think at the end of the day they ran their offense. They got back into their groove. Maybe it was nerves, maybe it's the heat. I mean, it's already hot out here. I know, I'm sweating.
Tell me about the weather. It looks like it's a little breezy, nothing serious.
Yeah, the wind wasn't too awful. It did pick up towards the end of the game, which actually might have helped CLX. They are from Iowa. They're probably used to a little bit more windy weather than Atlanta. Bucket's from Atlanta, right? So, I mean, that could have gone to their advantage. But other than a few pulls going out of bounds, you didn't see too much wind affecting them. CLX did definitely have some really impressive upwind hucks, though. So that was cool.
So the game that was in front of us here at the Skide booth was Wolverines versus Overhaul, I believe. And that started out pretty close, but what ended up being the results of that game, and what else happened this round?
I think, so for that one, Wolverines ended up 15-13, I believe, which is pretty interesting. I definitely didn't expect that. I mean, they're coming in seeded second. Overhaul is, you know, that was just a really great game for Overhaul, I think, to boost their confidence. You know, if they're going to put up points against any team, it's got to be one of the top guys, and hopefully that carries them through the weekend. Another cool game, actually, I was in between CLX and Bucket and Ghost and Seven Figures, and Seven Figures actually won that game.
Wow.
It was 15-12, and, you know, they took the lead early, and they just maintained it. And
So a lot of
it was really
our
cool.
experts have Ghosts going pretty far.
I
into
know.
the tournament. Let me remove those quotes. We are experts, damn it.
That was definitely an unexpected loss, but I mean, I think that again is the difference between the mixed team and the team of open and women's players. Definitely a lot of athletic plays on both sides there, but Seven Figures has just, you know, they didn't have too much roster turnover this year. They've been playing together for a long time. They just ran their offense and they did really well. Matt Hennessy and Matt Welsh had some amazing athletic plays. Towards the end, Matt Hennessy actually goes for like this huge backwards layout grab, and like as he's falling to the ground, he's like, time out, and they actually, that was really close to the end zone. They ended up turning there but scoring to win.
So that could put the Ghosts in a predicament if they when they match up against Polar Bears in the third
Yeah,
round.
that could be really interesting. So again, maybe the theme we're seeing here is, you know, the mixed teams instead of the individual big players are going to be the ones to take it.
So were there any other close games or upsets that surprised you?
Blackbird over Musteno was a game definitely closer than I expected. That was 15-13 as well. Blackbird's coming in seeded third, I believe. Musteno, I think, is seated definitely towards the bottom. I think 13th. I think. And for a game like that to be 15-13, that does not bode well for Blackbird. I mean, Musteno just doesn't have the years of experience. You know, there are a lot of good players, but Blackbird should have been able to pull away with a bigger win than that, I think. So I don't know if that indicates, you know, the first round jitters or whatever it is, you know, maybe the wind affected that one a little bit, even though it wasn't too windy. So I don't know, but yeah, that didn't bode well for them.
So what do you have to look forward to next round? What games are you going to be watching in particular?
Let's see. I think next round, yeah, I will be definitely. I want to check out District 5 and Jackson Gills. I haven't seen Jackson Gills play too much, and I think District 5 is gonna.
Last year's runner-up.
Yeah, I'd love to watch them play and see how they do with a brand new team. I think, let's see, Polar Bears Seven Figures, that's definitely a game to watch. That, I mean, if Seven Figures, they took down Ghosts, can they take down last year's champs? We'll see. That's another game that they're really going to want to win. I mean, if Seven Figures beats Polar Bears and Ghosts, they are looking at a really, really nice weekend here. So, yeah, definitely a few good games to check out next round.
And what about Chad Larson? What do they have up next round?
Chad Larson is going to be playing Termites Entourage, which is really nice for them. I think that Bucket kind of has their work cut out for them. With a game like that, I mean, they went into soft cap. That's playing for 2 hours, 15 minutes. That's crazy. Like, these teams are going to need to conserve their energy. Chad Larson can probably do that a little bit in their next game. Bucket probably doesn't have that luxury.
Okay.
So
it's a lot of exciting games to watch
definitely.
next round as well, and we'll see what happens with the Ghosts after their loss when they match up with Polar Bears later on.
Yep.
Great. Well, Maya Ziv, thanks so much for reporting in.
Definitely.
Maya Ziv is our mixed correspondent, and we'll be back with more after next round with our update shows for Sky Magazine. Cool.
This is my goodbye dance.